Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for joining me here today. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Okay, we've got a Four of Swords. I think you're somebody that tries to sort of remain, you remain objective as much as you can. You know, like you're not a gullible person. You tend to sort of, to listen to the data coming in, to try to collect as much information as you can before you make a decision. Okay, so when we get a 4, right, you start looking around for the 5. So I start to wonder, have we been sort of collecting data for a long time? Is it time to sort of, is it time to implement the plan? Is it time to sort of make a decision or to form an opinion about something so that we can sort of move forward, Because this is kind of this energy sometimes can be a little stuck, right? It can be a little bit in need of movement, yeah. But this is also someone who's a very good listener. And I think that you're probably known for this, that you're very, that you're easy to talk to. You're someone that people can approach and ask you questions. You don't jump to conclusions. You don't jump to judgments. Yeah. So I feel like you are in a situation now where you're just kind of observing. You're just sort of looking around and you're seeing what's out there. Maybe you're seeing like how the energy is going to develop before you really form an opinion or make a decision or make a move. Okay. We've got to put this into some context. I want to see if there is a big decision pending for you, if we've been kind of, it almost feels like we've been kind of staying out of it for now until we can really figure out what's true and what's not. Okay. So is there some drama going on in your life? Is there a decision pending for you? Well, we've got now the Prince of Pentacles, so that's a good sign. We've got also a Prince of Cups, though. Okay. We got a 9 of Cups. Well, that's very good. There's the 6. Okay, so the 6 of Swords is the plan itself. Okay, so we don't have the active air energy. So maybe it's okay we're going from a 4 to a 6, right? That we're going from this sort of, oh, there, look at that. Yeah, this is really good. You're taking your time to really figure out what you want, how you want it, and what the plan should be. This is you sort of formulating the plan, right? And so this is a very good sign. And then, of course, the earth energy, and we are building this future that's going to contain all of this happiness. This 9 of Cups is really the best card of the tarot. So I feel like you've got exactly the right things going on here. This is perfect. You're taking your time. You're being very responsible. You're gathering all the data, right? I feel like you're researching right now, like you're investigating. You're trying to get as much information as you can because this is going to be the biggest thing you've ever done. Okay. There we have the Sun card, the Fool, the 2, and see the 2 of Wands, I think, and the Princess of Wands, yeah. The 2 of Wands and the Princess of Wands, the fire energy, I think, is really important right now because we have this plan, we're looking at this future of the entire world. I mean, this is a really big deal for you. This is something that's going to literally change your life, change the whole world. And so it makes sense. You're taking your time. You want to make sure you get it right. You want to make sure that you have the right plan in place. But there is a need now to execute this plan. I feel like you got the plan already, so what are we waiting for, right? These are very big plans that you have, okay? And I think it's very wise that you've been taking your time. I think it's getting close to the time now for action, Yeah. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down over here. We're going to put our new octopus friend right there on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end. All right, but it will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. All right, if you have a prediction for that card, put it in the comments below. Let's use our intuition. All right, let's take a look around the room here. We have these three major arcana energies, and it's interesting with the Fool and the Sun, because the Fool knows nothing. The Sun kind of sees everything, right? Knows everything. So it's kind of as if you are researching to get all the data. You want to see all aspects of the thing. You want to know you're trying to look at this whole world. You're trying to see your path. You're trying to know as much as you can about the universe around you before you sort of close your eyes and take a leap into the unknown, right? And so it involves this weird duality of sort of knowing everything, seeing everything, investigating the universe, collecting all the data, seeing into all the dark corners of the world around you, and then sort of shutting out all of that knowledge and just taking a flying leaf off the cliff, like the Fool card. And so it's taking this really, really big risk, but I think it's a calculated risk. I think it's one where you know as much as you can. You've done your due diligence. You've done your homework. You've researched it. And it seems like now it's sort of time for you to just sort of say your final prayer and leap into it. Okay? And I think once that leap happens, there's really no turning back. It feels like things really start to snowball and speed up. I think this is a big fated change in your life, and I think it's happening fast. Once we sort of close our eyes and let go and allow ourselves to sort of fall into it, things are going to happen really, really fast. So it's important that you've done this homework, this due diligence on this side over here, and you made sure of your emotional situation. You made sure of all of the you have the building materials around, you have the plan, and you know exactly what you're building, and you've investigated every aspect of this. Okay? And now I feel like it's a matter of just leaping into it, trusting and doing it. Okay? Very, very nice with our major arcana energy. We've got our fire, of course. We've got our water. We've got our water here as well. Very good. We've got our air, and we've got our earth card. The earth card is sort of building, and then the universe is the final structure, the universe itself, the world itself that you're building. I think you're literally building a new world. All right, literally building a new world. And so it takes a lot of analysis, a lot of introspection, a lot of observation, right? We want to know as much as we can about this situation, about maybe maybe you're like scouting a location even. Maybe you are literally building something like a home or a business or something like that. But I think you're building a life. You're building a world. Whatever the future is for you, I think you're really doing everything that you can in order to gather the information and put it into your perfect plan. Okay? And then, of course, it's time to start actually building. It's kind of like we've got the architectural designs, and we've got all of the sort of environmental reports and the engineering data, and all the math is done on it. And now it's kind of just, it's just sort of like you're taking a final look at everything before we really execute this plan. Okay? I love the water energy that we have, especially that 9 of Cups. Let's start with the 9 of Cups today. This is one of the best cards of the tarot. This is pursuing your happiness, following your bliss. This is really this is what is motivating you. It's the idea of the superabundance that you can have in life. Physical, financial, mental, emotional, spiritual, creative, abundance, success, fulfillment, satisfaction, right? All of these things are going to be yours. And I feel like you're planning things out perfectly. You're creating the perfect blueprint. I think you've gone through a few revisions of things. I think that's sort of why we're in the Four of Swords now, because we're just kind of, it's like we need a little bit more data to go into our plan. We're just sort of collecting, we're absorbing, we're listening, right? Things are coming in, and it's going into our plan here, right? Before we actually start the building. So in some ways, I feel like there's kind of a little bit of a nervous delay where it's just like, I need a little bit more information. Maybe I can wait and get a little bit more clarity, a little bit more knowledge about this situation before I start. But there comes a time where it's, I don't know what it's called. I'm sure there's some sort of philosophical or scientific term for this, but it's the point where you have so much data that it's not actually helping you understand anything anymore. Like you've passed that point. You've passed that point of knowledge where it's sort of trending toward chaos now. It's like there's a sweet spot of knowledge, beyond which it starts to sort of devolve into entropy, into chaos, right? Into sort of a misunderstanding, right? And I think the 6 really is that sweet spot. You have to know that, you could collect data all day, every day for the rest of your life. It doesn't mean that you're going to continually understand things any more than you do now. There's a point where that's it. You've got the clearest picture of this you can. Any additional data is just going to sort of muddy the waters, right? And I feel like that's sort of where we're at now. And we've got to make sure that we get over here and we execute. This fire energy is coming toward the end here. But it's there. And I think once it starts, it's going to happen very fast. So the 9 of Cups in the background position is your motivating energy. This is what you know is leading you forward. It is this sort of happiness. I think that you know really exactly what you want in life. You know what happiness means to you. You know what superabundance means to you. Okay. This could be primarily a business or career thing. It could be a home. It could be a family thing. It could be a creative thing. I think this is sort of a life thing, And if you haven't noticed, the readings that we do here are not exactly career readings. They're not exactly romance readings. They're not exactly spiritual readings. They're all of it, right? These are life readings, okay? And so there's always a little bit of love. There's always a little bit of financial stuff. There's a little bit of family stuff because we're complex people, We have a lot of things going on. This may be primarily talking about your business, your sort of financial endeavors, your work every day, but there are relationship things going on here too. And there are family things going on here. There's creative energy that needs to be sort of, brought to the forefront a little bit as well, right? Especially when we get to the Prince of Cups here. There's a desire in you to live in this authentic way, to pursue your happiness and your goals according to your spirit, your soul, your terms, okay? And you want this to be exactly right for you. And so there is this sort of fixed energy in you that is kind of like, in a way, this is sort of your vision of the world. And this is something I think is very specific, very special to you. It's like you have a very unique way of looking at things. You're probably an artist, a poet, or a musician, because I feel like you have your own unique voice. And this is sort of, this is why there's so much planning going on, because you have very particular tastes, Your friends and things may even say, boy, you really do like the strangest music, I feel like there is this inner artist in you, and I think it's starting to really have its way in all aspects of your life, that you want things a particular way, because that's what you resonate with. And you're going to keep working and keep revising and keep tweaking the plan until it is just right. Okay? I think it is probably right now as close to being perfect as it could get. Okay? Because we have the 6 of Swords up at the top. 6 of Swords feels like a divine blueprint to me. Okay? It feels like this is the beauty and harmony. It's a 6, right? So it is the perfect, and of course the 6, the number 6, always refers to the sun. Okay, the planetary energy of the sun. And so to me, this card is all about harmony and beauty and enlightenment and resonance, right? And it's very balanced. It's almost like it's that weightless It's that zero gravity. It's like it's the very zenith of the roller coaster, the arch, the roller coaster. And you're at the very sort of top of the arc, And that's the sort of the weightless moment before things really start picking up speed and we're off the rest of the roller coaster's doing its thing. And so this, I think, is really that point where you sort of pause, you look around and you think, this is it. I got everything I need. The resources are in place. I think that you have networked. You've made all the right deals. You've met all the right people. I think you have a very charming personality, especially when we think of the Fool card and the Fool with the fixed water energy, the Prince of Cups, and the Six of Swords. These three cards together, this is a very, very powerful triad in the Dove and Serpent spread. And I think that in your interactions with other people, you're like that, you're that very funny, creative kind of person that everybody wants to be around. I find you're very playful in your social interactions. But playful not in just kind of an annoying way, but in a way where people can tell that you're very creative and very intelligent. You're very witty, but very playful. And I find that people really are drawn to you because of that. Yeah. The Prince of Pentacles, the builder, the fixed earth energy. Once you start this path, you're not going to quit. And I think that you've been committed to this path for a long time. I think whatever plans are being formulated now are either for sort of the next level, the next phase, or some sort of a continuation of the path. Okay? It's not like just, you suddenly woke up and said, I'm going to start building my life today, and now we have this plan. No, I think it's been a lifelong thing, but there may be something new that you're doing now. Either, you're kind of looking for that new venue, you're looking to relocate, maybe you're looking for the new job, the new house, the new whatever, right? New space. Maybe for your art, maybe you're moving your family, maybe you're kind of thinking of, in a way, I think that you've already had some very important achievements. And so now the plans are kind of, okay, where is life going now? And I think with the universe card in the future position, the possibilities are endless. I mean, when we really think of this in its most abstract way, it is just vast, infinitely vast emptiness. It is the cosmic void out there. And it's kind of like you're given a plot of land, and you think you could build whatever you want there, right? What if you have an acre? What if you have 20 acres? Oh, geez, okay, all the things I could build. What if you had 1,000,000 acres? Right? What if you had infinite acreage to build with? It's sort of overwhelming in a way, and in some sense, you've got to take what your ultimate goals are, the kind of the largest abstraction of your goal, and we've got to break it down into manageable pieces. Okay, so think of it as just a couple acres at a time, rather than this 500,000 acre plot of land that you have, or whatever it is. I don't really know even how big that would be. It's difficult to manage when it's so huge. So break it down into smaller chunks. All right. And that way, and I think honestly, that's what you're already doing. That's probably what the Four of Swords really is you kind of thinking, okay, you have these really huge, unbelievably great goals and dreams and plans for your life. Crazy huge, right? Let's just sort of, let's rope off a little section of the garden and just focus here for right now, right? And so I think this is what you're trying to do, is to make your sort of long-term plans more manageable by keeping them in chunks, And I think right now you're just sort of working on yet another chunk, that you're roping off another section and thinking, this is where I'm working now. Okay, and it might be sort of an incremental. There might be some sort of chronological thing. It might be very ordered, step by step sort of thing for you. But it might not be. It might just sort of be wherever your wherever your soul kind of takes you, what is important to work on now, you know? Let's take a look at the path of the serpent. And as we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything, and it supports the channel, and I appreciate that. Okay. Path of the serpent, general energy, that sun card. The sun card tells me that you can see into this vast, infinite universe, right? That you sort of know, what the really these huge, unbelievably great, absolutely long-term, infinite sort of plans and goals are for you, because the sun can really illuminate everything, right? The light. As we know, the starlight will just travel and travel and travel. It will keep going, right, until, of course, it hits something. But, you know, from Earth, we can see light from, you know, billions of light years away, or whatever. I don't know, whatever telescope they're using now. I'm fascinated by that stuff. I don't know as much about it as I would like, but I feel like you can see very far into the future of your life, but I also think future lives, you know? I think past lives. I think that what you're doing now is transcending time and space. And these two, I mean, these are the cosmic energies. These are as infinite and as sort of spiritualized as we could get in a reading. You are a star in space, and you're discovering your path, you know, and we think about how we sort of observe stars now. We can sort of we can see their light. We can get an idea of their appearance, you know, by looking at them. We can sort of analyze that light to find out what they're made of, you know, and we can sort of we can plot their apparent movement, right, in our skies. And from that, we can sort of extrapolate of what their longer journey is going to be. Right, where the star is actually going over the course of, you know, millions of years or whatever it is. And so this is sort of an analogy for ourselves as souls in the universe, right? As stars in the universe. So I think that you're getting an idea of sort of where you've been. Right? You're sort of plotting your movements from one point to another point to another point. And from there, I think you're sort of getting this idea of what your longer life path is, your longer spiritual life path is, you know, lifetimes and lifetimes to come. Okay? Everybody talks about the past life sort of analysis, but I think we can use that to sort of plot the future lives as well, right? If you believe in that sort of thing anyway. But I feel that this card is really talking about an awareness of self. You know yourself. You are fully illuminated. And this is really what I talk about whenever we get the star card. And you know the sun is just a star anyway, right? But it's ours. The star card does two things. First, it illuminates what's within you. Lights you up like a Christmas tree, right? And this is that. And it shows you where your obstacles are. Really, it's by the analysis of our own starlight, we kind of get an idea of what we're made of, right? And what kind of blockages we have that might be preventing some of this light from getting in or from filling us up or from radiating out. Once we start doing that internal work, that light starts to radiate out. And it starts to show us we can follow any one of these beams of light, any one of these sunbeams, you know, to illuminate a particular corner of this infinite universe. And we can follow that path. Okay? And I think that is another, obviously, the second phase of the star card kind of shows us where we're going. Why we're here, you know, who are we and why we're here. So I think that the sun card is really about an awareness of self. You know what you're made of. You know where you've been, and so you're able to sort of plot the course to know where you are headed in life. And maybe we're just maybe we're just roping off this particular life and saying, I'm trying to look at what I'm made of and where I'm sort of going now in the next, maybe we're just sort of roping off 5 years or something, you know, where we're going right now in this kind of short term. So I really like the illumination of the Sun card. I think it's really wonderful for you. Maybe there's been a slight delay in your plan. Spirit's saying that there was a delay of some kind, and maybe it was a delay of resources, that there was some sort of financial thing, but I think it's being resolved now. Okay, or it will be very soon. The financial thing is coming through. The Fool card in the environment, of course, is kind of the idea that you're doing something that you've never done before. You know, you're not just trying to repeat. It's kind of like you're looking at the star, the trajectory of the star through space, like you're an astronomer, you know. And you're saying, okay, well, the star was there, and then it moved here, and then it moved here. Well, it's not going to go back to where it was, right? Stars, I don't think, have retrograde motion. Some of the planets do, but I don't think the stars do. Maybe they do. I don't know. But for my illustration, they don't. So in life, you know, we're not going to sort of go back to what we were doing before. We are not repeating. We're not in retrograde motion. We're not saying, okay, I went from A to B to C to D. Well, I'll go back to C and do that again. No, it doesn't work that way. I mean, sometimes we try. And I think when we try, it is disastrous for us. So what the Fool is saying is that everything is a novelty. Everything is new. You're going from D to E now. And E, we've never been on E before. And then we're going to F. We've never been to F before. And everything is a novelty. Everything is a new adventure. Everything is sort of the first time it's ever happened, you know? And in that sense, you're sort of at the cutting edge of consciousness. You are the one that's leading the way, right? And I think that we can sort of calculate what this next unknown step is for us by seeing where we've been. Okay, you know what you're made of. And then you kind of see where you've been, and you can kind of continue and plot the course and say, okay, my solar orbit is way around, you know, whatever way. And so the Fool, I think, is your awareness of going in that unknown direction. But, I mean, not so much unknown, because I think you're able to see, because you are that sort of spiritual astronomer, you know. And I think you sort of plotted your course, and you say, okay, I know that's going to be the next thing for me. I know I can sort of predict that's what's coming next. And then you're able to just sort of take that leap. You've done all the calculations. You've gathered all the data. It makes the most sense that A, B, C, D, this star is going to go to E next. And so that's sort of your prediction. It's like you can see the future, you know. And it's the way I think that, you know, in ancient days, the astronomers and the priests and all these learned people would say, okay, there's going to be a lunar eclipse in a few days. And then when it would happen, everybody would be like, oh my God, it's magic. You know, like, how did they know? Science, you know, which is the six. Incidentally, science is the key word of the Six of Swords. But, you know, the Fool really is that leap into the unknown, the uncertainty, the new, the novel, the transcendent. It's moving forward. It's not a retrograde motion for you, okay? Yeah, Spirit's telling me, keep your eye on your spending. Don't, you know, whatever the issue, whatever the delay was, I think maybe that's the Four of Swords too with the Prince of Pentacles, is sort of, you know, keep everything within budget here. It doesn't need to start going over budget. Like, just try to stay pretty close to what you're estimating. Okay. The difficult card, of course, is this Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands is that kind of that execute. It's just say, it's okay, go. It's like right now we're sitting at the on the drag strip in our drag racer, and we got a red light. We're waiting for the green light. We're ready to hit the gas pedal. Okay. And I wonder what your green light needs to be. I wonder what the maybe the green man is the green light, and it's just sort of, you just got to sort of take a deep breath, close your eyes, and hit the gas, you know. But it feels as if you're waiting for an outside signal, like you're in the drag racer car thing. And, any minute now, that light's going to go from red to green, and you're going to have to punch it. You're at a drag race, right? That's what you're supposed to do. So I don't know what we're waiting for. If there is that financial thing coming through, or if there's something else that you're waiting for, right? Spirit is telling me that a big move is coming in your future. And I don't know if that's what the plan is, or if that's sort of, a few letters down the road that you're going to have that there is going to be a big move for you, I think, in terms of where you live. Okay, I don't know where you live now or where you're hoping to sort of go, but I feel that there is a big move, and I think big, at least when I sort of hear it, is kind of talking international. So I feel like it's a pretty big step. I don't know if it's this current step or if it's going to be maybe the next step, but it's certainly on its way. So the difficulty then, I think, is like we said, is getting started. The difficulty is just hitting the gas, right? And whether you're waiting for something or whether you're just taking one deep breath and then you're going to do it, that's what we need to sort of figure out. The final outcome card is really this Fire and Earth, Princess of Pentacles. This is very impulsive behavior. Okay, but this is a card of manifestation. This is a card of, again, it's fire and earth, right? It is that spiritual electrical circuit of creation, fire and earth. It is very impulsive. In fact, it's impulse to behavior in like kind of psychological terms. It's heaven to earth. It's fire to earth. It's will to action, inspiration to implementation, right? It's the creative idea to the manifestation of it. And usually that sort of electrical circuit needs to go through the heart and mind as the conductor. And that's how we get from fire to earth. We've got to go through water and air, right? But this card is kind of saying it's just happening now. It's just flowing out of you from fire to earth. Impulse to behavior. The mind and the heart aren't really doing anything to conduct it or to impede it. It's just kind of like you got a direct current here, right? And I think it's because of all this work that you've done over here, that your heart is in the right place. Your heart is fixed in this. You're motivated by the right stuff. You've got the right plan. Everything seems to be perfect. It's kind of like now the cards are just saying, once you hit the gas, right? You're in that drag racer. Once you hit the gas, you punch it, right? You're not going to have to worry about and think about every little thing. You're not, you're saying, oh gosh, okay, I need to maybe push on the gas a little bit more. I need to maybe go a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, and thinking of all these other things and thinking, where's my competitor? Before we even get to the first thought, the race is over. It's a drag race. They don't last very long, right? So this card is kind of saying that once you get started, you're just trusting your body to sort of know what to do. You're trusting everything to just sort of work in harmony and everything is going. You don't have to really mentalize everything and interfere with it all, right? Too many minds. And so this is a good card in this situation because it's just kind of, you hit the gas, you trust that your mind and your body and your nerves and your fingertips and your foot are going to know exactly what to do and just let them do their thing. Okay, and yeah, it means your mind too. You're going to have to think about problems and figure things out and communicate and talk, but you're not interfering with the process. You're allowing things to just sort of just flow forth from you. Okay, so this is really good. I think things are going to start happening really fast once we execute the plan here. But let's look at the mystery card. I'd like to see some more earth energy of in the minor arcana. So maybe a 6, maybe a 9 or a 10, of course. I think a 9 would go very well with our 9 of cups, right? I don't know, Spirit's saying that maybe there's a document or something you're waiting for. You're waiting, or maybe it's some sort of communication or approval, or something, some kind of a letter or a document. Yeah. Okay, mystery card, here we go. 4 of Swords. A repeat of this. So we're still waiting. Reminds me of Bob Marley. I'm still waiting. What are you waiting for? That's kind of the question on everybody's mind today. If you are waiting for something, why are you waiting for it? Is it absolutely necessary before you start? And if you are, if it is something like you're waiting for that approval, you're waiting for the final contract to be signed or whatever, like you can't obviously pick up and move to another country without knowing that, like, you know, you got the job, or you've you know, your offer on the house went through or something like that, right? You don't want to start the process until you know that everything's been given the green light, you know? So I feel like you are waiting for something like this. And maybe you're like chomping at the bit. Maybe you're in the drag car and you're just like, you're revving the engine. You're ready to go. You can't wait to stomp that gas pedal and fly down the track, you know. But whatever you are waiting for, I think it is coming in very soon. I think this is also a confirmation that there's no more data really to collect, that there's no more planning. Don't mess with the plan. Don't try to tweak it. It's perfect the way it is. Everything is in place. Everything is, you need the green light, and then you need to go and let it flow. Okay. We're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there is a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Sagittarius, Wednesdays and Sundays. So watch both readings if you can. I appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.